Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on. Coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on. Coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on, coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.
And good morning to everybody, and to everybody a good morning. Do me a favor, invite somebody to share. Tell them coffee time is on. If you're on, I need you to holler at your boy. Say good morning. What's up? How you doing? Happy New Year. Say something so I know you're here. How about that? We got a lot to talk about this morning. Last night, yesterday, I saw all of the things that were circulating about Katt Williams. Katt Williams on Shannon Sharp. People were saying, "Hey, who's in who's in charge of the the schedule of the year?" And the people wanted Katt, so it intrigued me to go and take a look at what was going on out there in them streets as it relates to Katt. And my mercy, he said he had the receipts, he called the names, he laid it out. Kajana, good morning. And And it was a quite interesting show. It was also quite long, so I had to watch it in increments. I was trying to get stuff done. So, yeah, man. What's interesting to me, I don't know that industry. I'm not trying to know that industry. I'm not trying to be an expert and point out who's right, who's wrong. But what I did like is Katt's ability to articulate his truth to such a degree that he sounded like he had receipts. Now, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't say yay, nay, or whatever, but it was really, really interesting to hear some of the things that he had to say. What I did like, to some degree, the brother displayed a level of integrity, especially when he talked about Melba Moore. And obviously, Melba Moore was on in the way that he talks. He doesn't just come out and give you all the information. What he does is he kind of talks around the point to talk to the point and be on point. So he insinuated that she was on the list to get the Hollywood Star of Fame, and they came to him, and he was not going to accept their offer because she was on the list, and the money that needed to be paid in order to get on that star, obviously, or maybe she didn't have it for that, but he honored her. He honored her, and he said, I'm not going to get a star, and y'all looking over her. Does she not deserve her flowers because she doesn't have the money to pay the fee? And he talked about how he's used his money to help people out. I thought that was very interesting and good. And it gave me some reflection of who we are, where we are as a people. I think everybody is more interested in getting theirs until we are skipping principles. On Monday's coffee time, we talked about that. We talked about how you can gain all types of things and get it the wrong way, and it does not last. And what Katt was talking about was simple honor. Honoring the people who have gone before you, honoring the people who paved the way, whose shoulders that we stand on, honoring those people. And from the sounds of it, he's doing just that. Just based on how he's talking, he's definitely a man of principle, man of honor. Do me a favor. Once you come in the room, holler at your boy and invite somebody to share. If they're going to all get on at one time, watch. When you all help me share it, what happens, it picks up that algorithm. And we have 40, 50, 60 people that gets on within a matter of minutes. So that's why I ask you, if you don't mind, because you don't have to do nothing. You can sit there and you can listen or turn. So if you don't mind inviting somebody to share, telling them coffee time is on, I would greatly appreciate it. But I understand if you don't. It's no harm, no foul. But he was talking from honor, and one of the issues of honor that I believe we are missing in our generation is that we don't honor nobody. Good morning, everybody that's on YouTube. Y'all winning this morning. Good morning to everybody that's on Facebook. Y'all need a little help this morning. But we don't honor anybody, and because we don't honor anybody, there's the law of reciprocity. The world works off law and principle. Whatever you put in the ground, you can guarantee you're going to get that back. And in this world that we are in, there are so many people that are planning so many different things, and they're wondering why things aren't opening up for them, or they're wondering why it seems like they get 5 feet ahead and get knocked 20 feet backwards. Well, one of the first things that you have to check to make sure what level of truth you're operating in. Things don't just happen for nothing. I'm going to say it again. And a lot of times it's hard for us to measure. It's hard for us to measure our involvement because we see ourselves in a different lens of how principles may see us. But whenever you execute principle in law, no matter where you are, it's coming back. Our whole world runs off principle in law. Another principle is what goes up must come down. The principle of reciprocity, that law of reciprocity. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. And there are a whole lot of people that are reaping some things now that it may strike us strange. We may be thrown off as a result of what's happening to them. But in reality, they put that seed in the ground. It doesn't look good when it comes back, but they put that seed in the ground, and as a result of the seed that they planted, they're getting the harvest. You are where you are based on what you've done, based on the decisions that you've made, based on the things that you planted in the ground. And if you want to be in a better place, you definitely have to go about doing things a better way. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about truth. Truth do not lie. My old pastor, Michael T. Smith, he used to tell me all the time, T, fruit don't lie. Fruit don't lie. And sorry about the noise, it's the coffee machine. What he was saying when he said fruit doesn't lie, what he was trying to get us to see is that no matter what you say, you can cry the victim, you can fall out in the middle of the floor. If you're getting fruit, fruit is accurate. If you plant a seed in the ground, and that seed is there, let's just say the seed is there, 4 days. That seed is there 4 days. Well, when that seed starts to grow and produce fruit, it's only going to produce the fruit based on the type of seed that it is. An orange tree cannot produce apples. And you can stand over the ground, pick oranges from the tree. You can pray over that tree, cast out the devil, and bind principalities and powers and rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness. You can do all that stuff. You can do your little exorcisms. You can do your little deliverance for those of you that do that stuff. And you can call out every demon you know. If that is an orange seed, apples are not going to grow. And the problem with most of us is that it's how we filter and how we see truth. We see truth through the wrong lens. We see truth through our emotions. Truth has nothing to do with how you feel. Truth has nothing to do with your opinion. Truth is truth based on the seed that has been planted in the ground. And if a orange seed was planted, it's going to grow oranges. And I don't care how you feel about it. It's oranges. People they have the inability to see the truth because they have been buried in lies. Deception has filled the soil of their soul. And as a result of that, as that deception grows, as it germinates, as it grows, it's going to produce the fruit based on the seed. So what happens is now people are trying to judge truth through deceptive lenses. And you cannot see truth, you cannot have truth, you cannot recognize truth if you're not sitting in truth. One of the reasons we can't see truth too is that our society has turned into an ocean of comfort. We no longer have to work for anything. Everything comes at ease. And because everything comes at ease, what typically happens is you no longer have to work. People don't understand exactly what work does. Work not only conditions your mind, but it also conditions your body. Work also gives you the ability to gain experience. So when things are done for you and you've not had to go through any process and things happen to you, then you're not gaining wisdom, knowledge, or understanding. You basically just have a bunch of people to do everything for you, but the strength that you're supposed to gain through experience, the wisdom that you're supposed to gain through the process, you'd be totally oblivious to all of those things, primarily because you didn't have to do it yourself. It was done for you. So your inability to work and get things done for yourself also hinders you in the area of knowledge and strength, because strength comes from opposition. It's the opposition that I run up against when I'm trying to get something done that literally increases my strength. And you can't do it one time and think you're going to be strong. Most bodybuilders, fitness people will tell you that your strength comes from reps. It's not necessarily how heavy the weight is. It's maintaining the same weight, being able to do the same thing. It's reps. It's a continual pattern. And what happens to most people is that we don't have to have patterns. We don't have to do reps because we have technology. Or we've employed people to do things for us that causes us to miss out on the process. So process is very, very important. I'm going to say it again. Process is very important. It's in process that you literally reap and gain understanding. Most times when I ask questions, I'm asking more about the process than I am the answer, because it's in the process. If I understand the rules of the process, if I understand how to litigate the process, if I understand what the process is about, then I can go anywhere in the world and operate in that process and get the right answer. But if I only get the answer, then I have to always have somebody with me that has the answer to give me the answer. Then I become codependent on them. I don't learn it myself. I rob myself of knowledge and understanding, strength, and I rob myself of agility. All of those things come through working the process. And the reason people can't see truth is there's no truth in them. There's no processing of truth in them. And because there's no processing of truth, they won't be able to discern truth. And in addition to not being able to discern truth, they won't know it. So in our society, I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second here. In our society, I was wondering what was going on. There we go. In our society, because people aren't planted in truth, they have no foundation of truth. There we go. There we go. Deidre, Katrina, Harold, I so appreciate you, Deidre. Nicole Shree Young, good morning. Are you the evil twin or the good twin today? Because I was told both of them by a very reliable source. Shakaya Bryant, good morning. I'm so sorry that I miss you all. But our inability to be able to process truth because we don't sit in truth, causes us to miss out on truth. And in missing truth, we navigate or we embrace a lie, and that lie hinders us from truth. And we miss out on the strength, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we're supposed to gain. And the only thing that I'm trying to convey to you this morning, don't you judge where you are based on somebody else. Don't you fall into the spirit of comparison. Your journey's different. It may take you longer, but you are not less successful because your process is longer than they are. There are a whole lot of different reasons that it may take you longer. A whole lot of different reasons. So if you're going to see truth, operate in truth, you must have truth in your ear. You have got to be accountable to someone that believes in truth. You got to be around truth. And you cannot, when you recognize a lie in you, or you recognize something in you that does not resemble truth, or it doesn't have the ingredients of truth, it's to your advantage to immediately check that thing. Because there is a such thing as being self-deceived. When you're self-deceived, self-deception happens as a result of you convincing yourself of something that's untrue. And let me deal with this for a second. Did you not know in order for you to lie? Let me help you out here. In order for you to lie, did you not know that that lie has to pass through the governing board of your own soul and mind? Your soul houses your mind, will, and your emotions. So in order for you to lie, there has to be an inward reasoning. You have to reason with that lie. You have to justify that lie. Before that lie is told, it has to be justified. So when you run that lie through the governing board of your soul, you can make it and justify it and say whatever. And once you agree with that lie, you become one with that lie. The more you do that, the more you train yourself how to lie. These are the processes that keep people from walking in truth, being able to discern truth, being able to see truth. They've accepted a lie for so long. Most people are so self-deceived that they wouldn't know truth if it hit them in the head with a brick. And it's only because they've learned how to master lying to themselves. They don't want to be confronted with truth. Maybe it hurts their feelings. Maybe they have comforted themselves to the point that they've made it easy for themselves, where they don't want to be challenged, to the point where they are so comfortable in the lie that they've embraced. They don't want to see truth. They don't know truth. They don't want to be around truth. They don't want anybody to check them. They become spoiled in their own right. They become spoiled in their convictions. And when you become spoiled in anything, it's going to be hard for you to see it a different way. In anything that you do, you shouldn't do anything, approach anything, unless you have a second set of eyes. Even in driving, the reason you have rear view mirrors, side mirrors, the reason you have all the mirrors on that car is what the car is trying to tell you is, don't you trust yourself? There are things that you see, there are things that you're not seeing, and there are also things that appear to be one way because of where your mind has been positioned, and it's not that way at all. So to make sure you are sure, they put those mirrors on the car. Then there's a such thing as when you're driving, there's a blind side. You know, that blind side is the part that the mirror does not catch. The only way you're going to be able to see what's in your blind side is you're going to have to either turn around slow down, speed up, because a car could be hanging right on the right of your blind side and you look, you didn't see a car. Now you're trying to get over based on what the mirrors have told you and what you believe. And then you hear this loud horn saying, hey, I'm here. It's because they're in your blind side. And it's a testimony to us to not become so filled with our own truth that when a lie is being pointed out, we don't trust the eyes or the mirrors of the people that are around us. You cannot trust yourself. I'm going to say it again. You can't trust yourself. I'm going to say it again over here so this side can hear. You can't trust yourself. For all of you that are getting on now, please say something to me. I just want to say good morning to you. Let's see who's on. My boy is on, Mr. James Brandt. What it do, Dot? Dewan McIntyre is in the building. Good morning. To all of you that are getting on, good morning to you. Thank you for sharing a part of your morning with me. So if you're going to be able to see truth, there has to be an atmosphere of truth around you. You have to surround yourself with truthful people. Your network determines your net worth. Whatever you're around determines your value. And you can say how valuable Susan Pilot, Philpott, Susan. Hey, I miss y'all too. You know, I've had an opportunity, put a couple of shops, coffee shops, and a few other places, and we're working those to the best of our ability. But I've also had an opportunity to get some rest. So you have to have people who are truthful around you. It's not cute when your friends teach you how to lie, deceive, and avoid truth, because that's going to be a part of your soul. And you literally train yourself how to lie when you don't check truth. So when you see something that's off, it becomes your responsibility to check it. You got to check it. I saw some things that were off in me in a season of my life. And this is generally how it happens. Most times when something is off with you, you feel a certain kind of way. Or the results that you're getting from what you're doing don't measure up to what you know you should have. So it causes you to start checking yourself. And then you have to, I'm telling you, the key to life, one of the keys in life is to be accountable. Because it's in that accountability that you're able to sort through your own dysfunction. You're able to sort through maybe lies that you've planted in your soul about yourself. Maybe you think you're more than what you are. Maybe you think you're less than what you are. Being accountable and having accountability literally brings the balance in your life. You can't be around here talking about what you are. Who's checked that? Everything that we do has to be checked by a system. Philosophy of thought. There's a system that checks that. Your job. You've got somebody who's generally over you that have checkpoints for your position. Even if you're in business for yourself, your customers will check you. So there have to be checkpoints. There has to be accountability. If you have proper checkpoints, proper accountability, you have proper mirrors, side mirrors, rear view mirrors, and you're checking yourself too. All those eyes will keep you out of error. The reason people get in error is they begin to worship their own philosophy of thought. You see that with some of this stuff that we're seeing in the media with churches. One church, I love the pastor, love him with all my heart. He's like a big brother to me, helped me in some ways. William Murphy of the Dream Center. They brought in the New Year's with the music that they were playing. I couldn't tell you couldn't tell you the name of the Psalms necessarily, but I can tell you that for what the church is supposed to be, and I measure it by Matthew 16:16, when Jesus asked the disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" And their response was, "Some say that are Elias, some say you're a prophet from on high." And, Jesus wanted to know what the streets was talking about. Then Simon Peter answered and said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." Simon presented truth and a level of truth that exceeded his own mind and own understanding, to the point that Jesus shifts the conversation, and he calls Simon Peter. He received a name change. Simon became Peter. Simon means shifty, swifty, sand. It means unsure, wavery. And he called him Peter. Peter comes from the Greek word Petros, which means rock. He got a name change based on his understanding, based on his truth. He had received a truth about who Jesus was that exceeded his own mind. And because of this, Jesus said, "Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, flesh and blood, son of John." That's what Bar-Jonah is. Bar, son of John, Jonah, John. "Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood have not revealed this to you, but my Father which is in heaven." You presented such excellent truth that I'm going to build my church off this revelation of truth. So when we look at truth, when we are in truth, when we have proper accountability, it keeps us from getting in error, and then it helps us to recognize error. We live in a generation where if I tell you I don't agree with something, you take it personal, like I don't like you. Well, I can love you and still check you. So this New Year's party where they were playing, the music. If you believe in that music and you don't think anything's wrong with it, then it should be in your church every Sunday. You shouldn't choose a calendar day of the year to play that kind of music if that's what you like. That's what you like. That's what your convictions are. Then you need to play it every Sunday. Make it a part of your praise and worship set before you preach. What's questionable about what happened in terms of the music, the style of music? What really puts it in question is, who are we here to glorify? The Church of Jesus Christ should be built off truth. Jesus said, on this rock I'm going to build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Well, that rock was the truth of his word. It wasn't music. So for all of the geeks, spiritual geeks, and people out there saying, well, maybe he used the music as bait. Jesus said, if I be lifted up, I will do the drawing. God doesn't need our help when it comes to drawing people. He that wins souls must be wise, but that wisdom has to be in harmony with the word. It's what Jesus did that causes people to draw. You got 66 books and you're telling me you can't find a scripture in there to preach? When we make the Church of Jesus Christ about what our personal preferences are, that is what happens, and that's what begins to erode. We take personal preferences and we create a stage for them, and then we start using our preferences instead of the word. Now, that Bible doesn't lie. It does not lie. I've got almost 200 people on between Facebook and YouTube It's 170 on Facebook. There's 190 something. No. There's about 15 people on YouTube. Thank you all for taking the time this morning to come and join in with Coffee Time. Grubs, good to see you. Jesus said, "Upon this rock I'm going to build my church." That rock was a revelation that Simon received of Jesus. So if Jesus is building his church off of the truth of his word, off of the revelation of his word, then the only thing the church should be given is revelation. You don't need music to draw people. You need to be preaching the gospel. And whenever you get away from the gospel and you go into things that are subjective in their nature, whether it's your preference or not, now you're walking in a very gray area. Now, some of that music I don't listen to in my personal life, so I don't want to come to church and hear it. I'm sorry. But we had my brother, who I love. He's a dear friend to me. Helped me with some things. Helped me kind of navigate through some TV contracts. My brother Dietrich Haddon. Dietrich is he's a great guy. He's a cool dude. We talk, text occasionally. When we launched a church here in Jacksonville, Florida, he played an intricate role in some of the things that I needed at ground level. Well, Dietrich got on and basically defended Murphy. And I just don't agree with neither one of them. I think the church should be about Jesus. And when I say Jesus, I mean Jesus. There should be a difference. There is a difference between light and darkness. And if your conviction is there's nothing wrong with this music, make it a part of your worship set every week. The people's inability to see that tells you where their soul has been dipped into. They've been dipping in that stuff. It's a part of their character. It's a part of who they are. So now they're legalizing it because that's what they like. There are a whole lot of things that I like. I wouldn't dare bring to church because there's a difference between what works for me and then what works for the body. The body should be ran by the word. Y'all and all of you little lights and smoke machines, that stuff don't cause church growth. And if it does cause church growth, cysts grow. A warp can grow. So just because it's growing doesn't mean it's healthy. Cancer grows. You have healthy growth and unhealthy growth. You want people to grow off the word. Does the word sanction and agree with the actions that you're taking? I don't eat pork. I don't eat it. Haven't eaten it in almost 30 years. I haven't eaten it in almost 30 years. Won't touch it. But I'm not going to church preaching against it. I don't eat it. There is music outside of gospel that I listen to. I'm a PJ Morton fan. I'm an India Ari fan. Some stuff Tupac put out there I like. Some stuff Dr. Dre put out there that I like. But when you start calling women bitches and whores and everything is F around and find out and there's so much derogatory profanity, I'm not a fan of that. I don't know how that's edifying. I don't care who's singing it or rapping it. It ain't edifying. Well, I'm not getting ready to put that garbage in my ears. You wonder what's wrong with some of you. Some of you are a result of the climate of your own atmosphere. You've been eating the wrong stuff, letting the wrong stuff in your ears. And this is why the first thing that comes to your mind when something goes wrong is profanity. You F-bombing and B's and S'ing and A's and Jamie Johnson, what up, bro? It's a part of your environment. It's a part of your personal selection. But you should not push what you like on other people. And if everybody in your church knows all this stuff and that's what y'all do, fine. Rent your club and go do it. But the house of worship should be based on revelation. Do you usher the Spirit of God in on that music? Walk it out, whatever it was. I mean, what you play attracts something. What you do attracts something. So, on a personal level, I don't listen to that stuff personally. I don't want to come to church and hear it. As a believer, it's not edifying to me. Some of the lyrics were so outrageous. It's ignorance personified. It's done for attention. And one of the issues with the Church of Jesus Christ is that we have more people trying to be celebrities than they are trying to preach truth. This is why they got the camera following them from their car and while they're walking in the building. Hey, today's going to be an awesome service. Acting like they didn't know the camera was there. Got the camera following them from behind. You got all these. That's Hollywood. Straight Hollywood. And to each his own. But I think we should highlight the word. You won't see me in no reels coming to church filming what kind of car I'm getting out of, what my outfit. Oh, let me lock my car. It's trash. It's garbage. Like the word is not enough. It takes me so much time to study this word, to preach one message. I don't have time for all that other stuff. The principle of Jesus getting on that cross and being exalted, him getting on that cross legalized or became a magnet to draw men because of his death, burial, and resurrection. So whenever we lift up the cross and who he is, when he's lifted up, he's the magnet. And it's too many people thinking that, there's too many people really thinking that they have the answer to draw people. And in actuality, no, you don't have the power to draw anybody. The power belongs to God. God has to do the drawing. And unless Christ is lifted, everything that you lift is in vain. And I know it's old school and it's old fashioned and we don't think like that anymore. You say, Pickett, you got to get with the times. I don't. The times is what's killing folk. The times is what has us behind. So, Will Neal, good to see you, bro. So, we've got to make ecclesia, the name church. I got to get this off me, and then I'll move on to something else. But the name church comes from the word ecclesia, called out one. Well, what are we called out from? If our actions, positions, dispositions mirror that of the world that we're in, when the scriptures have clearly outlined we're to be in this world, but not of it. Our behaviors, our system of thinking, the root of who we are, shouldn't be coming out of the ground of the secular world. And I'm not saying, a lot of people take that scripture to mean you got to walk around in tongues. No, that's ignorance personified. You're called to be human, but you're called to be divine. You're not human with divine presence. You're a divine with human presence. And our actions should mirror who Jesus is. That's what make us believers. That was good to me. So I want to talk about the wheat and the tare, because you got these preachers, people in the gospel, literally, that are trying everything within their power. They want to be Hollywood. They want attention, y'all. That's all they want. They want attention. That's why they do what they do. They want attention. And and they're willing to be controversial because in their mind it keeps them relevant. Well, if we're honest, you might be relevant, but you're also full of compromise. You know, I believe we are the light of the world. I believe we ought to look like who we are. Jesus lived his life based on the pleasing of his Father. That's all he was trying to do, make his daddy happy. That's all he was trying to do. He's trying to make his daddy happy. He wasn't trying to please himself. He so pleased God that the Spirit descended on him in the Jordan as a dove. And God in this moment not only confirms Jesus, but affirms him. This is my beloved son. That's confirmation of who he was. In whom I'm well pleased. That's affirmation. He pleased his Father. And that's what we're called to do. Please the Father. Not y'all. We ain't called to please people. We're called to please him. In pleasing him, his will is established in the earth. And what people are doing, though, everybody want to be famous and popular. Everybody want to be known for something. Everybody want to beat their chests about something. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think to a certain degree, all of us need a level of praise. We do. We need to be appreciated. I don't think that's wrong. I believe the how. I believe the why. What sits at the root of your soul? The reason you need all this attention. Y'all give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. But what is sitting on the root of your soul? Why you want to be popular so bad? Why you want to be famous? Why do you do what you do? Your motives define who you are. They do. And you've got people doing the right thing for the wrong reasons. I'll say it again. You got people that are doing the right thing for the wrong reason. They want to be famous. And that's why they're so controversial. Has nothing to do with what they really believe and who they are. They want to be famous. They want to be famous so bad. So whatever's going to make them known and grow their brand, that is what they pursue. And the problem with that, it compromised the very word that we stand on. So there's a scripture in the Bible that says, let the wheat and the tare grow together. It says God's going to do the judging. God's going to do the dividing. And what that literally means, let me tell you this. I've heard so many people say, God exposing, he pulling the covers back. God exposing, he's pulling the covers back. And when they say God is exposing and pulling the covers back, they start talking about popular preachers and some of the stuff that's going on. And I mean, you see the headlines, you see the news and all. Let me tell you what's really happening. What you're working from will expose you. It's not necessarily God, but what you're working from, your position, the root of why you do what you do will be exposed. The fruit that comes from your actions, the fruit that is birthed from what you do, there's a system to your fruit. So if you went to the market and while you were at the market, they brag, oh, that brother has, his bananas are so sweet. Yeah, he always consistently every year, your bananas are sweet. Then what's going to happen after a while is the consumer is going to want to know, what are you doing to produce such sweet fruit? Pretty Black, Arthur Wilson, and James Joseph Morton. Good to see you all this morning. Thank you for giving me a piece of your morning. What are you doing? They're going to want to track what you're doing to make this fruit sweet. Why do they want to track it? Because they want to resemble it. Nobody wants a bitter banana, right? So we trace it to its root. We have to uncover the source. We have to uncover the why behind your what. Your what is your product. Your why is how you grow your product. And what's happened in modern times is anything that does not have the weight to stand will be carried away by the wind. That's wheat and tare. The difference between wheat and tare, they look just alike. They look just like, they're identical. The difference is if a strong wind comes. Big Steve, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. If a strong wind comes, it takes the tare with it. The tare sails on the wind, and the wheat is so heavy it hits the ground. What's being exposed is people's strength, the strength of what you do. You got so many phonies and fakes. You got people that are building platforms based on hot air, stealing other people's sermons and words, stealing other people's topics. I had people to steal my whole lineup of my show. I've had people to try and do what I do and call it. I've heard coffee group. I've heard coffee hour. I've heard pick it. I've heard all kind of stuff. Even when I was doing Real Talk, nobody was doing that stuff. I am the first show online, and I was here before you could go live. Coffee Time is about 13 years old. We produced Coffee Time and started doing Coffee Time when you couldn't go live. Periscope wasn't invented. We were doing Coffee Time through SocialCam. SocialCam gave you about 90 seconds, about a minute and a half to say whatever you wanted to say, and I named it Coffee Time because that was the first thing that I did in the morning. And I wanted to drink my coffee and give people hope. So SocialCam would put it on Facebook. That's how it started. Then Periscope came out and you could go live. So we jumped on Periscope and did Coffee Time. You couldn't go live on Facebook. Then Facebook finally came around and allowed you to record videos and put it on Facebook. You couldn't do live. So I would record 5 minutes or whatever I was talking about. I've got the receipts, and then I go on radio and tell people about my online show. It gives me the ability to do more, say more. I'm not regulated by the station. There are certain topics that I want to talk about and I really want to dig into. I don't have time to do that on radio. Not only do I not have time, the industry doesn't support that. There are certain things that you have to do when you're on air. So when I start seeing Time Coffee and coffee groups, I know where you get it from, whether you give me the credit or not. I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. And you can take what I do, but you don't have who I am. So what's being judged, I don't believe God's judging people. I don't. He gave us grace. His mercy is new every morning. I believe what people do is finding them out. I believe the strength is being exposed, the root of who we are. I believe when the wind comes, the wind tells us whether you're wheat or tare. I've done this for 13, 14 years consistently. I believe what's been done in darkness is going to be brought to light. It's the process of fruit. Fruit does not start on the tree. It starts with seed. As that seed begins to grow, fruit is revealed. Andrea Ricks, welcome to Coffee Time. Dr. Naita Guin says, it's windy. Welcome to Coffee Time. I'm so glad that you decided to join the little people. We know you're busy. So when the wind starts blowing, who you are is going to be exposed. If you're not rooted in substance, it's going to be exposed. And there are a lot of people, they're doing a lot of things, and the purpose behind what they do is off, it's wrong. They are the perfect examples of John 10. John 10 talks about the thief. And the Bible tells you if any man try to come in other than the door of Jesus Christ, he's the same as a thief and a lie. So intentions are being exposed. You shaking hands under the table, the bad deal's going to be exposed. And it's the process of life. If you know anything about gardening and building, I know both. My grandmother and my grandfather taught me gardening. You know, they had a garden over 30 years of their life. They taught me and my cousins and siblings how to take care of plant. I have a plant over there that my daughter killed when I went to New York. It died, and I brought it back to life because I know what I'm doing by the root. Well, you know anything about gardening and building, my daddy was a builder. He taught me the trade. You can't build unless you have a solid foundation. And in order for you to get a solid foundation, the ground has to be broken up and cleared. Before they pour foundation, there are a lot of roots in the ground. There are a lot of things that are in the ground. Well, look at here. Mary Denise Rachel Tomlinson. I gave her Denise. Her name is Mary Rachel Tomlinson. It's my sister. She hadn't been reaching out to me lately, probably because she hadn't been obedient, and it's fine. Her processes are going to be exposed. But before they can pour the foundation, the ground has to be cleared. There are trees that have to be cleared. There are roots that have to be cleared. The water level has to be tested. The consistency of the soil has to be tested. We have to not only make sure that the soil is consistent, but got to make sure there's no disease or poison in the soil. There are a whole lot of things that have to be tested before you can lay a foundation, pour the foundation. After the foundation is poured, if the ground has not been cleared correctly, there will be cracks in your foundation. And there are a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of things, but they weren't planted right. They weren't called. They're trying to get popular, trying to get money. They're trying to use their platform to get famous. They weren't planted right. And the root of who you are is going to be exposed. Here's when you know who's called and who's not. Can they stand the test of time, and can they stand against the wind of trouble? No matter the storm that comes their way, wheat is going to always hit the ground. Wheat is going to return to the foundation from whence it comes. I'm trying to tell y'all need to come to Encounter 2911. We're not playing church. We're doing it for real, man. We love people. We care about people, and we're preaching the word, not our opinion. Not what we think. We're preaching what that word says. Sharon Ellis, thank you for joining us. Jay Johnson, what up, bro? That's the little bro right there. One of the greatest producers of our time. Jay Johnson, you need to meet Jamie Johnson. Y'all need to collaborate. Both of you are great producers. So when the wind comes, when the storm comes, can you stand against the test of time? Nothing that I've ever produced in life resembles anything that I've seen. I'm not a carbon copy of anything or anyone. I'm not trying to be like this one or that one. I'm me. When we went into radio, Train and I both, we didn't listen to other radio shows. We didn't. For what? Whatever we had, we wanted it to be pure. And I'll go ahead and go on the record and add, we were the best show. We beat out secular and R&B shows. We were number one. We beat out 93.3 The Beat, 101.5. Our numbers were greater than any show in the history of this city. Calvin Cobb, good to see you, bro. Franklin Betha, what up? We wrote the formula to what people are doing now. Nobody was getting on radio. And I'm trying to make a point here. If you think I'm bragging, you need to judge your own heart. I'm trying to show you. Michelle Byers, good to see you. Nobody was getting on radio being themselves. We weren't there yet. We were the first reality radio show. We brought our personalities to the stage. He wasn't acting and neither was I. We were being ourselves. The only thing we did is brought it on air. Y'all hold on one second. Rod, what up, bro? I'm online. I'm on live. You should be on live with me. God's gonna judge you that I hadn't heard from my sons in the ministry. You and your brother, God gonna judge you. You on speaker. You on. I'm gonna hit you right back, bro. Okay. So, we were original. Everybody wanted to duplicate our show. So what I'm trying to tell you is you can't be the first of something. You can't be original in something and be a carbon copy. So people's intentions are being exposed. Who they are is being exposed. And you're going to be able to see who the trues, who the reals, and who the fakes. Katt Williams prophesied last night. He said 24 going to show y'all who people are. And when I say Katt told on everybody, and y'all can call that messy, what he was doing is speaking truth. You know, I'm always amazed that when you have people who have the glamour and the guts to call names and tell the truth, how we look at those people as being messy because they don't fall into the compartment of walking easy. Who said walking easy was right? Tiptoeing around. Paul called people out. He called issues out. He dealt with truth. And now y'all don't want to do that. So our whole world has become fake. We're in a generation of improper balance where people can do whatever they want to do and nobody's holding them accountable. I thank God for Katt Williams. He showed me who people are. And I think we need more of that. Katt did a wonderful job. We found out through the prophet Katt Williams that Steve Harvey hair was a wig. It was a man's piece. Oh, look at here. Glory to God. Never knew that. I thought... I was told that Steve hair his line was so straight because he used Beijing. That was before it became exposed to our community. That's what I was told. And all this time, that was a lie. It was a man piece. Katt shed the light on Ricky Smiley. He said Ricky Smiley lied. They did not want him in next Friday. He talked about Faison Lewis. Katt said these words. He said 24 is going to expose who people are. You don't have to worry about being exposed if you've been built and grounded in truth. So the word in the lesson this morning is check your motives. If a wind comes and you go with it, we know you weren't real. I don't care if you catch me in church or the business room or in the street in the mall. I'm the same person. I don't put on these personas. My voice doesn't change when I start preaching because God wants to bless you. Can I get a what are y'all doing? What is wrong with being you? God uses your personality. I'm trying to show you how the world will cause all these things to come on you and tell you what you have to do to qualify. Forget that. There is an originality and power in you being you. You becoming the best you that you are. You exercising you based on how God created you. And if what's around you does not resemble what he's given you, it's because he called you to be a trendsetter. I don't let people change me and make me become a carbon copy of them in order to be in their graces. That's the trouble that I've gotten in life. I've served different churches, and I'm just not going to be you. I've had pastors to try and make me call them daddy. You ain't my daddy, Negro. Are you crazy? And it didn't work out, not because I didn't do my job right. No, they would find petty stuff to hate me. Jamie on here, he'll tell you how they lied on me. Start putting ugly rumors out on me. Why? Because they could not conform me. They couldn't make me be what they wanted me to be, so they had to lie to get me out of places. Lied. I lost jobs because of lies. When I was a worship leader, they lied to get rid of me. So I am who I am by the grace of God. No man did this. Then no man put me on. Why pick and get all them opportunities? The grace of God, because I'm walking in my truth and who I am and who God's called me to be, and I refuse to conform. I don't kiss tail. It ain't in the Bible. I don't have to bow down to nobody. I don't care how long you've been pastoring, what bishop you are, what school you went to, and how the world sees you, the community sees you. I ain't never bowed down to nobody. And if you ask me the truth, I've always given it to you. So they didn't have anything on me. Dr. Heather Harper Carter. They didn't have anything on me, so they had to come up with lies. They lied on me, said I was sleeping with people's wife. Lied on me and said I said stuff in a barbershop in front of a group of people and tried to embarrass the church. Lies. I was quiet about it. I didn't have to defend myself because truth doesn't need a cover. You can't be that evil and that wicked and God keep opening doors for you. I've never been scared to call names. Most times, if I didn't call the names, I felt it would cause more damage to people who were not exposed to situations. So in an effort to try and cover people who were innocent and not change their view of whoever they thought the hero was, I just kept my mouth shut. But I know more whorish bishops not walking in truth, more gay bishops. All of them not. A lot of them are. And what we've learned to do in time is in an effort to keep what we love is we compromise the truth of what they're supposed to be and say, well, all us need grace. All us got a problem. Yeah, all us got a problem and all us need grace. But you shouldn't have a wife and a girlfriend. Come on, man. Come on. You shouldn't have a wife and be sleeping with underage girls. You shouldn't have a wife. If you want to be a homosexual, that's your sexual preference. Just let us know. Don't be out here leaking in the pool. You double dipping on both sides. Let your truth be your truth. Live your truth. If that's what you want to be, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be a Hollywood superstar, go ahead and do that. Don't take the stage of God and use the house of God and use the pulpit to pimp, to push your brand. No, man, go on in Hollywood and live your best life. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If you want to have more than one woman, do it. But let that woman go. Let that man go. Go and live your truth. That's what you want to be. But as it relates to Christendom, what people do in church is they use the platform that God has given them to try and make a name for themselves and push their personal agenda. And it's really about the money. It ain't about the souls. And it's definitely not about helping people. Because they'll have Gucci shoes on and you got people in your church can't pay their bills. I said it. Numbers went down, but I said it. I went from 120, I'm down to 22. I meant what I said. You have true men and women of God. You have fake men and women of God. And I don't care how your personal feelings. Here's what I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it alone because we're talking about truth today. We're talking about why people being exposed. They fakes. The purpose of what they do is hidden. They're not true. What happens with so many black people is we're so impressionable and we are iconoclastic. We like icons. So it was hard to believe that America's dad, the first black doctor to be portrayed on TV, was taking advantage of women. It's because we black and we like our own, so we're willing to cover our own. Where they do it too. That doesn't make it right. Are you crazy? If Cosby did it, he should be arrested. He should be in jail. His sack need to be rotted. I don't care how black you are. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're green, you're wrong. If you're white, you're wrong. Wrong is wrong, and it shouldn't have any color barriers. But because we're iconoclastic, we give Bill a pass and say, well, he was trying to buy a network. So they expose this. Well, he shouldn't have did it. Reese Chandler Jr., Eddie Collar. Eddie, I want my hat. You see it, boy. He shouldn't have did it. And in our community, when we love people and when we like them, we will cover and protect their era. But God ain't like us. And when the wind comes to purify. Who you are is going to be exposed. What you do is going to be exposed. Juanita Bynum, I know she's a hero in the black community. And y'all love her, but she crazy. I don't care what you say. The girl crazy. She is all for a rocker. Subjective theology is when you take your personal opinion and you're going to push it on people. That girl was charging $1,900 for a prayer class where she gave them a special certificate. And these are her words. She's going to teach you how to pray in realms that haven't been revealed to man. Everything God wanted us to know, he put it in that book. You don't have some special sauce, a special secret that God kept for thousands of years. He didn't reveal it to none of the prophets. He didn't reveal it to Jesus. He wanted to wait till you was born. Silly. Subjective theology. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, to pray for a prayer class. But when they become icons, they're able to get away with things you and I wouldn't be able to get away with. They've called you out on things lesser than that. They get to get away from it because they're popular. Y'all know doggone well you shouldn't go to the house of God and hear R&B music blasting. But because we love praise is what I do, we want to give them a pass. It's wrong. And your inability to see how wrong it is a testimony of exactly how far you off. The house of God should be dedicated to God. And you know it. But because they popular, they can get away with it. When they posted the picture of Jamal Bryant smoking hookah, is hookah right or wrong? Well, I think you have to judge that with your personal conviction. But as a pastor, I don't think you ought to be caught. I don't think you ought to be caught. I think it's a bad testimony. But they're able to get away with it because you're popular. All those DNA tests Jamal done had to take to find out that he's churning his in other places. Brian Carn, all them venereal diseases that he been passing out, and no one's gonna check them because they popular. And when you can't see the truth, it's because you've been soiled in lies. You're part of the problem. You done drunk the Kool-Aid. And so I don't believe God's pulling covers back. His mercies new every morning. I don't believe that. I believe your sin will find you. I believe what you do and the reason you do it, that's going to be found out because it's not going to be able to survive the storm of social media. Heather say, sir, are you being Katt Williams right now? No, I'm not. But I'm telling you the truth. There are people you know and I know, they lied. They lied. And here's the proof they lied. They lied to get me out. And they lied to get Meacham out. You call it what you want. Nobody made me. God did this. I ain't scared of none of you. I got the receipts. People will facilitate a lie to try and kill your character. And the only thing they're doing is being a part of the soil that God's going to use to grow you. And I am who I am by the grace of God. Jesus did it. Jesus did it. And I'm proud of it. And I said what I said. And if you want to talk about it offline, call me. You can call me through Facebook. Send me a I'd love to talk about it. You want to know the truth about anything you heard about Pickett? Call me, then I'll go online and talk about it. And I won't reveal your name. Who we are is going to be exposed. What we've done is going to be exposed. Jamie on here, he knew it was a lie. I talked to Meacham. Meacham told me the lies that were told. I sat in silence. There was no need to me to defend a lie because the truth gonna always come out. When you start seeing patterns in people, and it's hard for us to see, especially when we love them. Especially when we love them. But there's an arrogance in not being able to admit I was wrong. You know, I've had to go apologize to people because my attitude was wrong. I've had to go and apologize to people because I was offended and didn't tell them my offense, maybe because of their position. I've had to go back and get that stuff right. So I don't understand how the Holy Spirit tell me to get it right and he ain't speaking to the rest of the people. I don't understand that. And it ain't none of my business. But what I'm saying to you, it is impossible to have the Holy Spirit and live in lies unless you become the lie you've been living in. So now you've been in that lie so long that your truth is a lie and your lie is a lie. And when you've been soiled in a lie, you'll never be able to see truth. James Joseph Morton, well, what was it? Would they not allow you to be great in their space? Well, I don't know because I don't truly know people's intentions for what they do. I do know a lie. I went around here sleeping with people's wives. I know that's a lie. I was sleeping, but it wasn't with wives. I didn't lie in no barbershop. I said what I said, and I was able to defend my truth and had witnesses to back up my truth. They chose to believe a lie over the truth. All right. Some of y'all might be uncomfortable. You'll be fine. Nobody's helped me pay my bills. Nobody's helped me in business. No, God sent me a team and he sent me people and he's equipped me. I walk in truth. Always have. And some people may say, "Ooh, Pickett, you sound like you bitter." No. I've got people on my live right now that told you this is who I was as a teenager. I told the truth as a teenager, even at risk of incriminating myself. I told the truth. I've been preaching truth. James Joseph Morton, he'll tell you. I was calling out stuff as a kid. Heather will tell you. Jamie will tell you. Angela Hatcher Johnson, good morning. They'll tell you. As a kid, I stood up before preachers and told the truth and prophesied against sin. Well, it ain't going to stop now. Deidre will tell you, always been this way. I was born this way. God created me for this. Angela Hatcher Johnson, I saw you all over Meacham's project. I say, look at that. If y'all don't have Meacham Lamar Clark's album, you need to go get it. That's a wonderful piece of music. I've been on here longer than I generally am, just because I got on the road, and I don't know if I'm finished, but I'm gonna wrap this up in about 2 or 3 minutes. But you need to get that project. I went to his release, and my God, so I probably about 2 or 3 months, I was in church, and I had entered in the sanctuary before service started. They were playing Meacham's No Weapon. Amp the pen. That's my bro. Stood up against the king. Yeah, king can be wrong. Every king is supposed to have a prophet. Every one of them. God sent Samuel to deal with Saul. The king is not the highest seat. God's mouthpiece is. But anyway, I walked in the sanctuary. Look at here. All my family jumping on. Felicia McClendon Bailey. Good to see you. I walked in the sanctuary. They were playing. Look at that. So let me pause. So Amp the Pen, he's my bro. He'll tell you. I have never tolerated injustices or inequality from people in high places. Cynthia Johnson Pendleton, good to see you, sis. Charlotta Sowell, good to see you. Never dealt with it. I was on them white folks' job. I was in corporate America. And Amp the Pen, he just put Deb King's name in the comments, stood out, and I about turned her desk over. He had to pull me off. I didn't care nothing about that, and I needed that job. I didn't have another job, and I didn't have a lot of money. If I'd have lost that job, I would have been in trouble. But I snapped and about turned her desk over, and she told me to go home. I told her, you go home. And God gave me favor with the president. The president liked me for whatever reason, and I didn't lose my job. But I didn't let her push me around. She was around there. She was our boss, cussing people out, telling people what to do, what not to do. I'm not going to tolerate that. I don't care what your seat is. You're not going to disrespect people and think it's okay. Call people out of their name, and in order for them to keep their job, they got to take it. I ain't never been one to take it. And if you heard one side of the argument and you didn't hear me talking, that's because you didn't hear the whole argument. E.C. Weston, you going to hell for lying. But what was I talking about? Y'all done made me forget what I was talking about. The bottom line is, so I walked in the sanctuary and they were playing No Weapon by Meacham Lamar Clark. And I think True Purpose recorded it. It's Meacham Lamar Clark and Company now. Anyway, That No Weapon just hit different. I've always loved the song. Always. It's always been one of my favorite. Always. But that particular Sunday, whew, that thing hit me different. Matter of fact, I might play it now. Yeah, I think I'm going to play it now. And it hit me different. And man, let me tell you something. I text Meacham. I say, boy, this No Weapon is fire. And he said to me, wait till you hear the remix. And Lord, I went to his album release, and it was a great album release. A lot of family was there. People I hadn't seen in years were there. And boy, I went to that album release, and it blessed my entire soul. It's so many songs on his project, and all of them are word-based. It ain't this stuff y'all out here doing with these CCM music. Y'all black people, I don't know why y'all marrying CCM music and acting like it is the mantra for what praise and worship should be. It's not. I believe we ought to add it to what we do. We shouldn't be replacing what we grew up on. You need a good hymn. Every now and then you need a I need thee, oh, I need thee. My soul loves Jesus. No, we shouldn't replace them songs. We need to add to this new stuff, add it to what we have. We ain't got to get rid of nothing. Let me see if I play this. I'm going to play a little bit. Hey, you got to download. You have got to download Meacham Lamar Clark and Company's album. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna say this last thing. When you love people for real, I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to be shady or anything. When you love people for real, love will help you cross any boundary and barrier. Love helps you filter through misunderstanding. But when the love is fake, you're never going to get justice, because love was never the substratum for the relationship. The people that I love. Do we fall out? We have some. Some we've fallen out over lies, and we've gotten together to comb through stuff and found out that the source of the lie was spreading division amongst the brethren. In Proverbs 6 says 6 things that God hated, and the 7th is abomination. The 7th thing is he that spread lies against his brother. I have never hear me good, I have never in my life lied on somebody, tried to destroy somebody. I have never done that because I had something personal against them or I was jealous. I don't have the heart to lie against people. Now, I've lied to get out of stuff. I've lied to get out of tickets. In my younger days, I tell them girls lies. I've never lied and tried to set people up. When I found out that people were being set up, whether I knew them or not, it was never gratifying for me. It was always grievous. When I see injustices that are done in people, it's always grievous. I talked to Omar Dickinson one time, and he and I got together, and we had some conversation that exposed lies. And I don't understand, for the love of God, this is with anybody, and Katt Williams called it out. If you're sitting in truth, lies would not be found. But if you're sitting in lies, you lie. And Katt Williams said, I don't know why people lie, but they lie. There's a reason Jesus said you'll know the tree. Not by how pretty it is. He said you'll know the tree by its fruit. My entire life I've tried to do nothing but help people, even at times of hurting myself and putting my family, on the back burner. I've used my personal resources to try and help people. That's heart. Still doing it. I'll die trying to help people. I've done nothing but try and give people opportunity to be a bridge, to build relationships with people. I've never set out to do evil by nobody. Nobody. But if I find out you lied on me, I may wait a year, I may wait a day, I may wait a decade. I'm going to start talking about your lie. I'm going to come for you. And that day is here. There are a lot of people I'm coming for. And I'm going to expose. I'm going to let somebody interview me and tell the real truth about some of this stuff that has happened. It's ridiculous. I've done business deal with so-called men of God, and they didn't pay me my money. I've used intellectual equity and poured into different businesses to help people in the body of Christ, and they didn't pay me my money. I've been loyal to certain men of God and done what they asked, only to find them in bed with my girlfriend. I ain't gonna write no book. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do a live. I'm gonna do a live coffee time and say, pick it, tell all. And I haven't lost my mind, and I'm not bitter. I think truth ought to be exposed. It's too many lies out here. And the more we sit on it, the more people think it's okay to do it. Well, I'm the right one. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this special edition of Coffee Time. We've gone a long time. But I'm grateful and appreciative of you. You were born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you is not able to handle. You got to calm down, slow down, trust God, and let wisdom speak. When wisdom speaks, you will always win. Y'all go have a productive day. Thank you for joining me. Be back here tomorrow at 8:30. I'm going to be revealing stuff all week until I'm tired. Remember to think higher, speak life, seek wisdom. Stay strong. And if you need to hit me up, hit me up. I'd love to talk to you. I love all of you. Have a great day.